On the outside, the Swift sports a sleek and modern design. Suzuki have introduced a new Horizon design line that wraps around the vehicle, creating a sense of motion. Rounded shoulder lines give it a sporty edge, while the iconic Suzuki badge proudly sits at the front of the bonnet. Lower headlight positions and L-shaped daytime running lights not only enhance visibility, but also add a touch of sophistication. And check out those clear rear tailgate lights.
Meet your new charcoal chicken obsession, Aljana. Crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside. There's chicken, and then there's Aljana charcoal chicken. Power 103.1, Ballarat's leaders in local. Listen anywhere you go on the free iHeartRadio app. Your news now.
I'm John Fabris. Nauru's being paid by Australia to take foreign-born criminals released by a 2023 High Court ruling against indefinite detention. The Nauru government will provide long-term residence for anyone who doesn't have a valid visa here. The Trump administration's tariffs are allowed to remain in place until October 14, giving it time to appeal a new court ruling that many of them are illegal. Political science professor Jeannie Sheehan-Zaino told Bloomberg the court found America's president's proclamation of an economic emergency for the tariffs was unwarranted.
He talked about an emergency for things like the federal trade deficit, for instance, but yet that has been going on for decades and decades, hardly constituting an emergency.
Indonesia's protests at politicians' housing allowances being 10 times the minimum wage exploded on police fatally running down a motorbike share rider. The deputy director of Amnesty International Indonesia telling Al Jazeera Indonesians politicians are out of touch.
A blatant show of the parliament, the government dancing around as the people are struggling. Economics are difficult in Indonesia.
And a man in Maryland in America who forgot he'd purchased a Powerball entry has won twice because he bought an identical ticket. The man won $500,000 times 2 for a total of $1 million. He plans to help his kids and grandchildren.
D2E Gym. From Delacombe to Wendouree, you're never too far from a D2E.
Adelaide's adamant Isaac Rankin's suspension for a homophobic slur won't derail its finals campaign. Skipper Jordan Dawson concedes it's been his toughest week at the club.
Tough for the club to go through, but I mean, that's life, that's footy. There's going to be challenges, so you've got to figure your way through them.
The Crows to host the Magpies in next Thursday's qualifying final. Live AFLW, Adelaide leads GWS Giants by 31 points in the final quarter at Henson Park. 2 more games getting underway, the Saints hosting the Eagles and Geelong taking on Sydney at GMHBA Stadium. Pat Cummins is set to sit out Australia's T20 tour of New Zealand in October. The Test skipper managing back tightness since the West Indies series and is booked in for routine scans. NRL Storm enforcer Nelson Asafa Solomona has dodged suspension, charged out of last night's loss to the Roosters, but escapes with a fine if he takes up an early guilty plea. Priscilla Hon has bowed out of the US Tennis Open. The Aussie qualifier knocked out in the 3rd round, but will rise to a career best ranking of 106 for her efforts. And Oscar Piastri finishing 2nd in Practice 1 and 3rd in P2 ahead of qualifying for F1's Dutch Grand Prix. That's sport. I'm Harrison Prebe.
Unleash your vehicle's power beyond limits. Discover our exclusive range of Yuasa automotive batteries, engineered for unparalleled reliability and performance to power your journey like never before. Battery World. Power your passion.